So, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of all of your busy lives in order to get to know me a little bit better. Hello, and the warmest of welcomes to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, fab to have you here. For those of you who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you enjoy my videos. I put out videos roughly 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion to some slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please do head down, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrating yourself and celebrating others. So, thank you so much to everybody who has submitted questions to me, either on the community post that I posted a few days ago. I'm really loving community posts, by the way, they're really good fun. And also on my Instagram. I have done it in a very technologically savvy format, and I've written all your questions down on a piece of paper because I film on my phone. So I don't have my phone to be able to read them. So here we are using the old-fashioned method of putting pen to paper, and I've written down as many of the questions as I think I can get through, and I could always do a second one if that is something that people would enjoy. So, like I said, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to going through these with you. Obviously, I quickly looked at them to write them down, but I haven't given any answers, any thoughts. So I will think of those as we go. Anyway, let's kick things off. Number 1, have I ever been bullied for buying or carrying beautiful bags? I got bullied for it. Well, firstly, I'm really, really sorry that you've experienced that. I think that people can be assholes, and the fact that you are carrying a beautiful bag is no reflection on you, the fact that that is what you are loving. It is a reflection on them that they are small-minded. So I'm very sorry that's your experience, but keep rocking whatever it was that you were carrying and keep loving life. Have I ever been? No. I have been bullied over the years. That's a strong word, but unfortunately that was my experience. But, you know, kids can be mean, and I'm sure I could have been mean. I'm sure I was mean as well as a kid. So, kids can be mean. However, has anyone ever done that about bags? No, they haven't. However, I do get questioned about it in terms of why do you do it? And I do get a little bit defensive about that because I don't think that that's a well-intentioned question. I don't think it really matters why someone does what they do. I think just let them live. But like I said, I'm very sorry that's been your experience, but keep being you. Never let anyone dim your light. I heard a phrase the other day that really resonated with me, that putting out someone else's candle doesn't make yours shine brighter. Remember that. Okay, next up. The type of gentleman that I would like to have in my life, I guess from a relationship perspective. This is really difficult for me. I tend to date men that are older than I am. I like individuals who are sophisticated but fun. I tend to gravitate towards someone who's quite a reserved character. When I look back on past friendships that I've had over the years, they have often been quite reserved characters. Which actually goes against what I think I would want. I think I need someone who's got energy like I do, who's fun-loving, who just wants to put themselves out there, who wants to have a good time, who wants to just enjoy life. But I've naturally gravitated towards men who, like I said, are older, a bit more conservative, tend to work quite a lot as well. And I'm very career-orientated as well, but I know where the line is. Whereas I have tended to date individuals who spend a huge amount of time working, don't have a huge amount of time for me. I would love someone who makes me laugh, who cares about me and I care about them, and we just feel a spark for one another, we feel a passion for one another. That's what's really important to me. Do I know what that's going to look like? I don't. So yeah, let's go with that. Following on from that, a very good friend of mine requested an update on my romantic life, and in one word I would say it's complicated. Yeah, that's all I can really say about that. How did my passion for luxury start? Do you know, I think it's from just flicking through. I always had a passion for high-end cars. I'm a huge car nerd and a huge car nut. And I always had a passion for luxury cars. And in the magazines that I used to watch, you see a lot of advertising for other high-end products. And also, I used to love watching shows like Desperate Housewives. I'm a huge Real Housewives fan, as you know. And they always had the most beautiful, beautiful fashion. And I just slowly started to read up on it more. I started to look at fashion magazines. Even when I wasn't at a place that I felt like I could be expressive in my personal style, I loved to look at it. I looked from afar for many, many years before I started to dabble in the world of self-expression, I guess, when it came to fashion. I used to shop at JD Sports, like that was somewhere that was quite regular for me to shop. I would never step foot in JD Sports now, not because there's anything wrong with doing so, just because it is not my style. It never was, it never will be, but it was what I felt like I needed to do at the time. Whereas now I wish I'd just kind of gone, you know, I did what was right at the time, but I loved watching those shows, and I loved watching the beautiful fashion and how well put together everybody was. And I just loved seeing it, and I loved to research what they were wearing and just the sophistication of it all. I used to love seeing the male characters in their beautiful tailored suits, getting out of their gorgeous cars with their amazing watches on and their beautiful shoes. The ladies in their stunning outfits, their gorgeous high heels, quite often Louis Vuitton high heels, hence where my obsession with Louis Vuitton started. Just absolutely loved to view it, loved to see it. Yeah, that's where I would say it started. And then probably what leads on to that was a question I was asked was about my personal style, any style icons in my personal style. I don't personally have a style icon. There's no one that I can point to, but in terms of reference points, there have been certain individuals over the years that I've just really liked something on them, and therefore I thought, oh, I really, really like that kind of overarching look. So, for example, someone from a tailoring perspective that I've always admired is I've always admired Tom Ford. Not only in his own dress sense, but in his clothing as well. I think it's beautiful. An individual like Daniel Craig, who wears some of the most beautiful suits, but he also does casual very well. You know, the shirt and jumper type of look, I think is excellent. In terms of style icons when it comes to things like shoes and bags, someone like Yolanda Hadid, I think, has a beautiful, beautiful style, particularly during her tenure on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Who else? Bethany Frankel, I think, as well. It has a beautiful, beautiful style. So individuals like that, I think, I've kind of watched over the years. Not particularly celebrities. I'm more into kind of reality TV than I am kind of celebrity, although I know that they do mix. But yeah, that's probably where I would say I get that from. But I just throw things together, I see what works, and I could not tell you what was in style. I could not tell you what was fashionable. Honestly, I don't care. And I shop a lot at outlets, so I don't think you can be in season style-wise if you shop outlet. So I just buy what I love, put it all together. If other people like it, fine. If they don't, fine. As long as I love it, that's all that matters. Celebrity crush. So I'll give you a couple here. So I have 3 current celebrity crushes, and one of them just go with me on it. And then I had 2 growing up. My 3 current celebrity crushes are Henry Cavill, Michael Fassbender, and Bruce Willis. Those are my 3. Let me know what you think of those 3. My 2 growing up, Reese Witherspoon and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Then I came out, but I still love them. I still think they're gorgeous. So, yes, yeah, the affection is obviously different now, but I thought they were gorgeous, and I always loved their movies. I just thought they were fabulous. But those 3 gentlemen, Henry Cavill, Michael Fassbender, Bruce Willis. As I've mentioned, I have in previous videos, I have quite a few weddings coming up, and I've been asked if I'll be wearing heels to them. No, I will not. I don't think it's the right setting. It's not a day that's in any way about me. So I think given where we currently are, it is something that pushes the boat out a little bit. You know that I believe fashion doesn't have gender norms, but some people do, a lot of people still do, so I will not be, because I don't think that that would be appropriate and that could steal focus, and I don't like the thought of that. Will I wear them to my friend's bachelorette? Probably. I will at least take them with me. And then I'll make a judgment call as to actually what I feel like wearing. Not because I would feel uncomfortable wearing them, but because if it's raining, etc., I don't really want to be wearing them. But I will be taking them to bachelorette or an airport look to travel to one of the weddings. Absolutely, I will be wearing my black snakeskin stilettos for the airport, because if you can't look fabulous at the airport, when the hell can you? It's got the best runway ever. There we go. So this is a good one. Do you believe in ghosts? And I'm going to extend this out to the supernatural in general. I don't know. I don't know. I cannot prove it one way or the other. I cannot prove it, I can't disprove it. So therefore, I will just say I don't know. I know people who firmly do, and I know people who firmly don't. I am someone who is very logical. I like to deal in fact. But that doesn't mean that just because I cannot factually ascertain something doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and I would never say that something doesn't exist if I can't prove it. So, however, something that is quite interesting is in a former home that we had years and years ago, I did used to see a ghost, and I could still describe where I saw it, how I saw it, what it looked like, what it sounded like, and it was we used to call it Mr. Man. So yeah, I did remember that from probably when I was about 6 or 7, and therefore I think they do say, don't they, that is it children and dogs can see things that adults can't see. And yeah, I remember that very, very vividly. Like I said, I could still tell you where I first saw this entity, and I could still tell you what it looked like, what it sounded like, what it smelled like. It was a really bizarre experience, actually. Have I ever experienced anything like that since being an adult? No, I haven't. It doesn't mean that I believe one way or the other. So, a really interesting question. If you could design the ultimate Le Pliage, what would it be? Dale, is there the potential that there might be a Longchamp in your collection soon? I hope so. I feel like you would love them because they have so many fun colours. What would my ultimate be? My ultimate would be an extravaganza of colour. I would have a different body colour to the leather, to the piping. I would have silver hardware. I'm thinking something that would maybe be neon. So maybe a neon pink or a neon green bag with, let's say it was a neon green bag with a neon pink trim and black leather handles would probably be one. Or I would go for a black body of bag of nylon, and then I would have maybe neon yellow with then neon pink trim or neon pink handles, something that just had a real pop to it and had a real pizzazz. You can get these with alternative logoing. So for example, if you do a custom one, you can get the Eiffel Tower. I would stick with the horse, and I would probably stick with the horse or the jockey in the smaller size, because you can get it in a medium size plus a large size. I will insert some footage of what those customs can look like. I think I would just stick with it in the small size and just do it in very bright, very vibrant colours. Maybe I would need two. I have thought about getting a custom one multiple times. I was going to do it for my 24th birthday, and I just never ended up doing it. But maybe I need to do it for whatever that next special occasion, event, achievement is in my life. Maybe I need to get a custom one. That could be really cool. 3 items I'm admiring from afar and why. So I feel that this is probably maybe 3 items that I love that I'm not buying for a particular reason, whether that might be price point or functionality. 3 items I'm admiring from afar. Well, I always admire Birkins from afar. always. There was actually a lady at the gym the other day who was carrying a gold on gold Birkin, and I mean, that's a level of extra that I aspire to. It was a Birkin 30, I think, in gold. It was beautiful, and I thought, wow, that's something to be taken to the gym with you. Good for you. So loved that for her. Always admire a Birkin from afar. What else do I admire from afar? Platform Louis Vuittons, only because I can't get them in my size. And I really, really want a pair of platform Louis Vuittons, but they seem to stop at a size 8 and I need a size 9. So hence why I'm thinking about So Kate's. But platforms are just my jam. I love platforms. So yeah, I kind of want some platform lubes, so I admire those from afar. Balmain tailoring, I would say, as well, because I would love to own a Balmain jacket. It's just the price point isn't for me at the moment. Probably not ever, but certainly not at the moment. And also, I have tried a jacket on before, and the cut wasn't massively flattering on me. And it was one of their men's tailored pieces. It just wasn't massively flattering on me, which was a bit disappointing. It just wasn't the right shape for me. So that doesn't mean I won't find one, but for the moment, they don't work for me. So there we go. Hermes Birkins, Louis Vuitton platforms, and Balmain tailoring. Those are probably 3. There are so many others I'm admiring from afar, but those are 3 that I can probably think of right now. What is my favourite movie? Okay, I have a couple. Cruel Intentions is one of my absolute favourites. And I saw this on a list. I was watching, is it called Miss Mojo? That's a YouTube channel I absolutely love watching. And it was 90s movies you shouldn't rewatch today. It's saying that it ruins them. I love Cruel Intentions, and I've rewatched it many, many times. I love that movie, so big tick there. What else do I love? Oh, I'm a Disney fan. I absolutely love Disney. Sleeping Beauty is one of my favourite Disney movies. Controversial opinion, they did Maleficent dirty. I'm just saying, you didn't invite her to the party. You didn't think she was going to be pissed off? I'd be pissed off if I was the only person not invited. Probably wouldn't, go as far as she went. I think she did go a little bit far there in terms of revenge plan. But certainly, show up, show your displeasure, get it. She then went a bit far. Anyway, still think they did her dirty. And 16 years is a long time to be petty. So good for her for sticking the course. What else? What else do I love? I'm just trying to think of go-to movies. In terms of like horror movie genre, I like thriller and horror movies. Scream, the original Scream, is a movie that I think is absolutely fantastic. And I love, and I just remember watching it and thinking, wow, this is scary. I watched it when I was quite young. I was like, oh, this is so scary. But I actually really enjoy it as a movie. That sounds weird, doesn't it? I don't know if you should say you enjoy horror movies. I don't want to come across, like, creepy. Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Can you say you enjoy a horror movie? That's the intention behind them. But it sounds strange, doesn't it? Saying, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that people got away. Like, I like that. I like that there were people at the end and that they found out who did it. I'm digging myself a hole. Anyway, moving on. We'll stick with those. Okay. Let's crack on. Places I would like to visit. And it was interesting actually because today there was a tag thing going around on Instagram that was name all of the countries that you've stepped foot on. I did my list and I'll insert it. I've been really fortunate and really blessed with the places that I've been able to visit. Incredibly, incredibly fortunate. Where would I love to go? I would love to visit the Galapagos Islands. I would love to go to the Maldives. I would love to go to Japan. Japan is high on my list. I would love to visit Australia. The only thing that gets me with Australia, I've had opportunities to go before, and the thing for me is the flight. I hate to fly. Absolutely hate flying. So the thought of that makes me feel a little bit ill. Flying for 24 hours. Once I'm on the plane, I'm okay, but I really don't enjoy the experience. I hate the smell of plane food as well. I have a real thing about it. So yeah, that's one. But I've been really, really blessed with the places that I've been able to go, and some of the most incredible places I've been. This wasn't a question, but I'll throw it in kind of on this where I'd like to visit, but where I've loved to visit. China was so interesting. Barbados was beautiful. the UAE, particularly Dubai, has some of the most incredible shopping that I've ever seen in my life. I had an amazing time in Greece when I went with my mum. We went to Kefalonia. We had an amazing time and I loved spending that time with her. Yeah, some really fabulous, fabulous places. Very, very blessed to have been able to travel like I have. Yeah, very fortunate. Okay, my dream car. My dream car. So, my primary dream car, if someone just gave me an unlimited credit card and said, right, point at one, I would drive a Mercedes-Benz SL 500. I've always loved this car. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. I had the pleasure of being able to test a SL 400 back in 2017, and I was 22 at the time, and to be able to drive that down the German Autobahn with the roof down, oh my word, there is nothing like it. It is honestly incredible. It was stunning. I loved it so, so much, and I love convertibles. I've been fortunate enough to own a convertible in my time. I've driven multiple convertibles. I drove a Mercedes-Benz SLC for a period of time, which I absolutely loved. Very blessed to have been able to do that. There's lots of beautiful stuff out there, but I think my ultimate dream car is the SL 500. Oh, gorgeous. And they've released a new SL, or they're releasing a new SL, and it's stunning. A 2+2 model. Oh, stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. Love. Love. How did my love of Longchamp start? Do you know what? This is an interesting one. So I bought my first Longchamp bag back in 2018 when I was in Stuttgart, and I started off with travel bags. And I've referenced before how I started off with travel bags because I was just dipping my toe into the world of kind of carrying bags, and I felt like travel bags were a way of being able to carry bags almost like surreptitiously, as a cisgendered man. And you now know I don't feel that fashion has a gender, and I don't give a shit anymore, and I'll just do whatever I want to do. I wasn't that way about 3 or 4 years ago. I was really nervous about it, and it probably goes back to that very first point, that very first question. But I absolutely loved that travel bag. It was the yellow one. I thought it was gorgeous. And from there, I just wanted to own more, but I started buying more travel bags. I then bought those document holders, which we all know haven't worked out very well for me. And then from there, I just thought, right, and then I went to a backpack, and then I wanted a top handle. So by golly, I went and bought a top handle, and then, oh, away we went. That was then, after I bought that 40cm geometric top handle, away we went. I was in love with the top handle styles. My confidence suddenly grew, and I thought, screw this, I'm going for it. Also, I had started to see on social media more of a reflection of myself in terms of who I wanted to be, who I wanted to emulate. I started to see more male influencers carrying handbags, stereotypically handbags, and I started to see the designers releasing more handbag styles in their men's collections, and that just for me was an indicator of where fashion was going, and I suddenly felt like I could be a part of that, and that I could endorse and engage, and just that made me really, really happy. A lot of the items that I do buy sit within the lady sections in terms of the accessories, etc. that I buy, and I don't give a flying fig about it. I will buy whatever I fancy and go from that. So yes, that was where that all started, from that first bag back in 2018, and then I started to grow with it, and I love the quality of Longchamp. The customer service has always been impeccable. I own about 17 bags from Longchamp now, and it is absolutely the brand that, from a bag perspective, I'm most loyal to and will continue to be most loyal to, because it has never done me wrong in terms of the items. And if one hasn't worked out for me, it's through no fault of the item, it's just because of me. The brand has never done me wrong, and they are super duper duper. So I'm very excited. The next thing that I'm looking to buy is a Rousseau in full leather. That will probably be my next piece, because I have my canvas and mock croc, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love, and I get so many compliments on it. It's a beautiful piece, and I would love one in full leather. That will be next. Okay, what is my strangest addiction? I don't really have any. I mean, I have I'm a little bit OCD. So probably things like, door checking, window checking, all of that kind of stuff, but I have gotten much better at that over the years. I have calmed down a lot over the years. It used to be at the point that I couldn't leave the house if I was the last person to leave, which isn't ideal. I'm much better now, but I would say in terms of a product, Diet Coke is the thing that I just cannot go without. I absolutely love it. A little while ago, I was waiting back on a PCR test, and I was, although technically at the time you were allowed to go out whilst you were waiting for results, I didn't feel it was the right thing to do, so I was staying at home, but I ran out of Diet Coke, and it was the worst thing, and my friends were messaging me to say, do you want me to bring you some? I thought, God, this really is... this really is something. I was like, no, I can last, it's fine. And then that evening I got the text to say your PCR test result was negative. Sprinted to the local shop to go and buy it, and I bought about 5 bottles just in case I got stuck again. I was like, I am not falling for this again. So I would say probably Diet Coke is the thing, is that product that that I love the most. So I was asked if this bag was something that I created or a collaboration. No, it was not something that I created. This was released in June 2021 by Longchamp. I wonder if that was asked because, as I referenced earlier, when you create your own, that's when you can do this large jockey logo. You don't tend to see that on a lot of the bags. So that maybe was where that one came from. No, it wasn't. I bought this from the Regent Street store over the phone, and they shipped it to me. If I had have made this, I probably would have made this base canvas black or a lighter grey. I'm not in love with this gunmetal-y grey. It's not my favourite thing. However, I love the black leather, love the silver hardware, love this rainbow. Wish that this was pink instead of red, but when do I ever not wish something is pink instead of red? You know, look where we are. But this is a great item. I know that a couple of you have gone on and bought this from having seen it, and I really hope you're loving it. I'm really glad you were able to track it down. So glad that you managed to get your hands on it. I've had a bit of a history with this one, but I am glad that I own it, and it's a great work bag, really, on the whole, or a overnight travel bag. So it's found its place in my collection, but no, it wasn't a collaboration that I created in any way. Have I ever met anybody who has left me starstruck, speechless, and what was the situation? No. Quite honestly, no. Not through any fault of the individual. I have been fortunate to meet some quite famous individuals in my life, but no one's ever left me starstruck. I just don't think I'm someone who would get starstruck, but partly because when you watch someone, let's say you watch someone on the TV, in movies or in sport, whatever that may be, you kind of feel like you get to know them almost. You start to feel this kind of kinship with them, and therefore I wonder if that reduces how starstruck you would be. I watch on TikTok quite a lot, and Charlotte Dobre as well, who's got an amazing YouTube channel. I watch her videos where they talk about people who meet celebrities in real life and what they're like, and a lot of them say they're not very nice, and I'm like, oh, okay. It's quite interesting. So I've watched a few of those, and there have been people on there that I think, oh, I admire that person, and then I'll see this video talking about how maybe they were really rude to someone who was working at a restaurant or at a coffee shop, and I think, oh, I don't really like that. But then we all have bad days, you know. I'm sure there have been moments where I've been rude to people, so, you know, I think it's not, maybe wasn't their normal nature, maybe they just got caught on a bad day, which is, there are certain individuals that you hear about consistently, but sometimes when it's only one incident, I think maybe they were just having a really crappy day, and, you know, let them be, let them live. I love this question, and this is, if I could only wear money no object, a singular brand for the rest of my life, what would I wear? You could only wear the one brand, and it has to be every single item. Shoes, trousers, tops, bags, underwear, everything has to be from this singular brand, but money is no object. What am I buying? I am buying from Karl Lagerfeld. That will be my brand because I love the collection in its entirety. I love Longchamp for their bags and SLGs, but they actually don't make, they don't do a men's collection in terms of shoes and clothing ready to wear. I love Mulberry. Again, similar thing. They don't have the broad enough collection. I love Karl Lagerfeld, and I love it for its playfulness. I love it for its vibrancy. It's got this enjoyment factor, but you can buy some really sleek, sophisticated, understated Karl Lagerfeld pieces if you want to, and then you can just top it off. I am wearing a Karl Lagerfeld jumper today, and it is really understated. It just has the Lagerfeld here, and I think that you would have to look quite closely to see what it is, but it's just a beautiful, comfy navy jumper. Absolutely love it. So that would be the brand I would go for. It would be disingenuous for me to sit here and say I would buy exclusively from Prada, Chanel, Gucci. I don't buy from those brands really, so I don't know what their clothing's like. I don't know if it would even suit me. So therefore I don't feel like I really want it in this particular scenario. Of the brands that I love and that I buy from and that I know suit my style, suit my shape, everything like that, I would be buying from Karl Lagerfeld, and I have explored Karl Lagerfeld in terms of so many different products. The thing that I'm looking to buy next from them is either a tailoring piece. I'm actually eyeing up a suit from Karl Lagerfeld, and I'm thinking about a suit for one of the weddings that I've got coming up that's kind of later in the year. It's around September time when the weather starts to cool a little bit. So I'm looking at a Karl Lagerfeld suit there. I would love a pair of the men's Karl Lagerfeld trainers. I think they're fantastic. So there are a few different pieces that I've got my eye on from Karl Lagerfeld, just in order to round out my collection, particularly because shoes are pretty much, I think, the only item I don't own from there. I do have ready to wear, I have trousers, I have accessories, I have bags, I have outerwear. I think it's just shoes at the moment that's completely a gap, but there are a few different pieces. So I would go for Karl Lagerfeld, but I'd be really interested to know what some of your thoughts would be. And finally, what would I wear to a dinner that I knew my ex was attending? This is my favourite question. I love this. I loved all of your questions, don't get me wrong. I'm not putting any of them down. This, though, is so fun to think about. Let me go and get what I would wear. Now, of course, I am assuming no kind of real dress code. If it was black tie, I would wear a beautiful tuxedo with, similar to the event that I went to in December, I would take my Longchamp Pikachu Pokemon top handle with the beautiful black snakeskin look stilettos and that piece. If it was something that was slightly more casual, I would wear this beautiful outfit here with the blue blazer and the green heels and the pink Longchamp bag, just something that was really fun and vibrant. Alternatively, a key outfit that I would wear would be my Zara patterned trousers, and I've had these for so many years. They have done me so well, and I have no plans to move these on. I love them. Zara patterned trousers. Just a black jumper of some capacity. Again, this one will be relatively casual. My gorgeous Karl Lagerfeld faux fur, because this is showing I don't give an F that you're in the room. Look at me. Don't look at you, look at me. That's what this is. My Only Maker suede 160mm platform pumps to tower over them. Top it all off with this beautiful embellished Kurt Geiger flat bag. Gorgeous. Love. You know, these as a combo. Ah, wonderful. All of this together. Absolutely beautiful. Don't think you can go wrong. Stunning. That's what I would wear. I think that is a fabulous question. And I think the best thing, though, that you can wear when you're meeting someone that you don't want to see is you can wear confidence. That is what you can wear. And whatever it might be, if you walk into that room and you own it and you say, I know you're sat there and I give 0 Fs, good for you, go off. Love it. Anyway, thank you so much for your questions. I have loved answering them. I hope that you have enjoyed my answers. I hope it's given you a little bit more insight into me. I really enjoyed this. It was so fun to think about. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, for your support, and I look forward to seeing my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Mwah.